There may be nothing more enchanting, mystical, and mysterious than the wonder of music. It has the ability to reach the very root of our soul. The right melody can transform our mood, bring us to tears of sadness or joy, and release emotions buried deep within the bedrock of our consciousness. The Rambam states that had we not been gifted the Torah, we would have studied music in order to tap into spiritual truths. So what's the secret behind the wonder of music? And if you break down and analyze a piece of music, you'll likely be surprised at its apparent simplicity. Almost every Jewish song, especially in Western music, follows the same two-step progression. The song begins with a low, steady build-up, progressively increasing in emotional intensity before bursting into the chorus, where the contained introduction expands into a full expression of emotion, where the soul erupts unfiltered, guided by the stirring melody and words that perfectly capture the indescribable tune. And the song then reverts back to the lower introduction, and then this process repeats itself, sometimes with a bridge, until the song's conclusion. And so the structure of a song is essentially a circle: 2 low verses, 2 high, and then repeat. And one would expect music, one of the most spiritually uplifting experiences, would be more intricate, more novel than a simple circle. Now, we're now experiencing the Chag of Sukkot, a holiday uniquely connected to circles and song. Every day we recite the Hakafos, we walk in a circle. Now in Simchas Torah we celebrate the completion of the Torah with joyous song, and we repeat this circular process 7 times over. So what's the meaning of all of this? Well, in Jewish thought, a circle represents spiritual death. It's a geometrical anomaly. It's the only shape with no newness, no turns, no corners, no changes. It has no beginning and no end. A circle is a cycle that goes nowhere. It lacks evolution and generates no growth. No point on the circle is unique, with each point equidistant to the center. A circle simply cycles back to its starting point without making any progress. And Judaism is strongly connected to the concept of newness. When we left Egypt as a newly formed nation, the first mitzvah, the first commandment the Jewish people received is the commandment to declare the new month. HaChodesh hazeh lachem rosh chadashim. This month shall be for you as the head of months. The Hebrew word for month, chodesh, also spells chadash, new. Just as the moon constantly changes as it waxes and wanes, we are a people of newness and constant growth, waxing and waning through our continuous evolution. This is why the Jewish people count by the lunar year, built from months. The Western world, however, counts by the solar year, which is based on the Earth's yearly rotation around the sun. The Hebrew word for the year is shana, which also means old, yashan, and comes from the same root as the word yashen, which means sleeping. It reflects the concept of repetition and mindless cycles, as the word sheni means to repeat or do something twice. The sun does not appear to change, it remains static. A life of Shana represents a life spent spiritually sleeping, lacking any growth or newness. In a solar year, the months are merely a practical way of breaking down the year. But in the lunar year, the months are the creative building blocks that come together to form the year. In essence, the Jewish system is built from 12 creative months, not a single repeating year. However, to understand the true ideals of Judaism and reframe how we're meant to relate to circles, we have to briefly delve into the nature of time. The widely accepted understanding of time is that it moves in a straight line. Hashem created our world of space and time, and since its inception, time has moved inexorably forward. Along this line of time is the past, present, and future. If we were to move backward on this line, we could peer through history and find Avram Avinu at the Akedah, Moshe Rabbeinu receiving the Torah, the Rambam writing the Mishnah Torah. And our current experience is taking place in the middle of the line. If we would move forward along the line, we could see events that had not yet occurred, the future. However, there's a much deeper understanding of time. Time doesn't move along a continuous straight line, it circles around in a repeating yearly cycle. As the Ramchal explains, Hashem created thematic cycles of time, and each point in the year holds unique spiritual energy. And this deep understanding transforms our perception of time. We don't celebrate freedom each year on the 15th of Nisan because that's when the Jews were freed from Egypt. Rather, the Jews were redeemed from Egypt on the 15th of Nisan because that is Zman Cherusinu. That is the time of freedom. The power of freedom is what allowed the Jews to escape the slavery of Mitzrayim. And this same idea applies to all holidays. We're not remembering what happened, we're experiencing it now. That creative energy is happening right now, and the same applies to Sukkot. However, even the circle analogy is limited. If time were indeed a circle, then each point of the year would simply be a repetition of that point from the previous year, from the previous loop around the circle, and that would be pointless. We don't seek to re-experience the past each year. Our goal is to expand beyond what we've created year after year, so that each time we return to that same point on the circle, we're on a fundamentally different level. Each Rosh Hashanah has to be a higher one than the previous year. Each Pesach a new Pesach, each Shavuos a new Shavuos, and each Sukkot a new Sukkot. Through our growth and ascension, we convert the two-dimensional circle into a three-dimensional spiral. Traversing along the same circle at even greater heights, we maintain circularity while achieving ascension. And the same is true for all spiritual circles. The ideal is not to transcend the circular system, but to uplift it, to transform the circle into a spiral, to find innovative ways of creating newness within the circular system. And this is the concept of a song. Although a song may superficially appear to be like a circle, 2 low verses, 2 high, and then repeat, a song is actually meant to be a spiral. The intro creates a buildup of emotion that ascends into the chorus, but ideally the chorus doesn't simply revert back to the original starting point. Instead, the second low part is meant to build on the chorus, still riding the waves of momentum and energy that the chorus created, and therefore beginning on a fundamentally higher level the next time around. The low part is deeper this time, and you can feel the greater level of intensity. And then as the low part builds up even more powerfully, it bursts into an even more potent and explosive chorus. And this process can theoretically repeat itself ad infinitum. This is why we dance in circles at celebrations and during the Hakafos of Sukkot. It's because we're in fact dancing in spirals. As we ascend through song, we spiritually ascend as well. And each day of Sukkot, we build off the previous day's Hakafa, climbing one rung higher. On Simchas Torah, after building throughout Sukkot, we dance up all 7 flights of our newly built spiral staircase and accept the Torah in a transcendent fashion, the 8th rung up. And when one lives a holistic life, tapping into the true nature and meaning of existence, life itself becomes a song, a magical and immersive experience. The beauty of a song is our unique ability to enjoy every note, every step, every stage in the progression. If one learns to live life in such a way, where every step is not only a means towards becoming something else, but is fully experienced, embraced, and treasured as an opportunity, then life itself transforms into a cosmic symphony, a soulful adventure. Looking at the world through this lens, every aspect of reality plays its notes. Every person becomes redefined as a unique and essential musician in Hashem's eternal orchestra of life. Music is powerful, but becoming part of the music is a sublime experience. On the deepest level, a true musician doesn't play the music, but becomes the music. May we all be inspired to play our instrument, to contribute our song into the grand symphony of life, and to transform the circles of life into a transcendent spiral staircase that leads towards our ultimate destination.